What's up? Moose here, and welcome to my shop. Let's take a look at the Quinn 3/8 drive digital torque wrench. So with this torque wrench, you're going to get a 3/8 drive. It's going to be capable of 5 to 100 foot-pound torque. The measurements are going to be inch-pound, foot-pound, Newton meter, and kilograms per centimeter. You can also do angle measurements with this when it comes to torque specs. It takes 2 AA batteries to run. It has a plus or minus 3% for clockwise and a plus or minus 4% for counterclockwise. 72 teeth ratchet mechanism in the head. It's able to store memories up to 9 settings, and you have a recall function. Right now at Harbor Freight, this tool is going for $164.99. So most people are going to wonder, why would I need to buy a digital one over a click style? Well, for me, it was about the ability to measure angles in torque specs without having to make marks or guessing altogether. And also, I get a little bougie on things. And what I mean when I'm talking about angles in torque spec is some motors and some torque spec sequences, they use a final angle at the end of their torque spec that you need to turn the bolt to. Now, let's get into the operation of this thing. All right, guys, first and foremost, takes 2 AA batteries. You're just gonna pop this out, unscrew it, put the batteries in, screw it back in, that easy. Now, turn it on, also very simple. Just turn it on, but you need to make sure that it's on a flat surface and staying still. These digital torque wrenches are very sensitive to movement while they're in calibration mode. You don't wanna move it around or it knocks off the torque spec. So you're just gonna turn it on, let it sit. You're gonna have the 4 zeros pop up. Once your indicator pops up with a measurement, calibration is done. Like I said before, you're going to have Newton meters, inch pound, foot pound, and I'm assuming that's kilogram per centimeter. I might be saying that wrong. So maybe y'all can help me out in the comments. I've never seen that. I don't deal with inch pound a lot, so I'm assuming that's kind of what the metric version of inch pound is, but maybe y'all can help me on that. I could Google it, but there ain't no fun in that. So yeah, kilograms per centimeters. You do have degrees also. Now when it goes, this is already calibrated. When you first put it in degree, it's gonna flash those 4. Again, flat surface, don't move the tool or it's not gonna be able to calibrate. And actually I'll show you what it does. So if you go to calibrate it and you're moving it around or it ain't flat, it's just not going to do it. Most likely you're going to get an error message on it. And if you get an error message, the only way to fix that is you're going to have to take the batteries out, put it back in, repeat this process. Just make sure it's level and staying still. So you can also set memories, 1 through 9. So if you have a few different torque ranges in the sequence, you go ahead and set them in memory, and you ain't got to actually set it by hand every time. It has track and peak mode. So what that means is your track is going to alarm whenever you get close to a desired torque. So you set it to 16 foot-pounds. It's going to start alarming once you're up to 90% of the target torque range, and then it'll have a solid beep once it actually reaches that torque range. And that goes the same for your torque and your angle. It also has peak, which is just going to track, well, it's going to, as you pull down and apply torque, it's just going to show you what your highest torque value that you got to is. There's not going to be any alarming. So to choose between track and peak, right now it's in peak. So I'm going to hold down the function key. I'm going to put it to track, hold down the function key again, cycle through, until it goes back to the main screen. As you can see, the T's there, so it's in track mode now. Alright, pretty simple. You're going to choose your desired torque with your arrows. Start wrenching. There's your 90% alarm. You're just going to keep pulling until you reach your full solid alarm. Right there. 17 foot-pounds. Now for angle, you're just going to hit your function button, cycle through till you get angle. Again, level surface. Once those 4 zeros go away and you have a degree measurement, you're ready to go. So now, just like the torque, you're going to choose your degrees. Something nice about this wrench is how fast it actually goes through the numbers in a pretty steady rate. So we're going to do 45 degrees. We're going to start. As you pull, it needs constant torque to be able to measure the angle. Just remember that. There's your 90% alarm. Boom. Went a little over 47, and it also is going to pop up your peak torque. Alright guys, so this Quinn 3/8 drive digital torque wrench is going to be useful for anybody that uses torque specs, especially if they're needing to have angle measurements at the end of their torque specification sequence. Be sure when you're buying a torque wrench, you're also taking considerations of your torque range that you need to be in. If you're just dealing with inch-pound, then a 1/4 inch drive is going to do you good. 5 to 100 foot-pounds, 3/8 drive is going to do you good. Anything over 100 foot-pounds, you're going to need to work into the 1/2 inch drive torque wrench range to be able to achieve those torque specs. The Quinn 1/2 inch drive actually does a 12.5 to 250 foot-pounds torque. So if you're going above 100 foot-pounds, you're going to need to get that 1/2 inch drive. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so I can keep bringing y'all content, because my wife ain't going to keep letting me do this for free. Now get out of my shop.